I changed up my goals for Q3 and they still didn't work for me. So we're going to change them up again. Hey Dragonlings, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Skye. I'm a fantasy author who typically writes paranormal romance under the name SD Hegyes. And today we're going to be talking about my goals for Q4 of 2024, the final quarter of the year, the last 3 months of the year before we move into 2025. If you've been around my channel for a while, you know I'm always willing to try new things. I love a good writing challenge. I love a good new system. I love trying things to see what will and won't work for me. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And if they don't, I get rid of them. In this case, it doesn't. So if you're interested in following along on my journey and seeing what I accomplish and how, feel free to subscribe to my channel. In the meantime, let's talk about those goals. Editing Skye here to apologize because I am still getting over getting sick, and when I filmed this video I thought I was good to go. However, as I was editing it, I realized that I started coughing a lot, and I was coughing a lot in like the middle of sentences, so I had to chop a lot of this up. I would start saying something, cut myself mid-sentence to cough, and I've cut out those coughing parts. So if anything feels disjointed or it feels like it's not explained correctly, it's probably because I started a coughing fit, forgot what I was talking about, and continued on to the next point. So feel free to ask any questions if something I said really doesn't make sense or you need me to explain it in more detail, because I probably did in the original version and then started coughing and had to cut it out. So, forewarning before we continue on. I will have my Q3 goals video listed in the description. However, to give a quick recap, the way I changed up my Kanban board is the fact that originally I had it set up with 3 sections. Let's back up a little bit. If you don't know what the Kanban board is, it's basically a system where you track your tasks based on your goals. I have been using the HB90 method in order to plan out 3 goals, and I've been using my Kanban board the same way that Sarah Cannon does. And if you're interested in learning more about that, I will have a link to that as well in the description. My Kanban board is behind me, and a traditional Kanban board has tasks listed from left to right, but mine are actually listed from top to bottom, just like Sarah's. And the sections for mine are to do, to doing, and to done. It's basically supposed to be to do, doing, done kind of thing. The goals that I had were related to, my first section was everything Brimstone Books, which is my publishing company. My second section was family and friends. And then my third section was academia and career. I changed that up in Q3 and just focused on my Brimstone Books because I would have rathered track anything family related and academia and career related in my personal planner. However, with the Kanban board, the way I was tracking tasks is my first column over here on the left was related to writing stuff, and then my middle section was anything related to YouTube, and my third and final section was anything related to social media as far as like Instagram, Facebook goes, newsletter. That hasn't been working, as you can see. And you look at my lovely board, nothing has moved down from the to-doing section. And even those tasks that are in the to-doing section have been there since the day I set this up. I have not touched this since the day I set it up for the video. It has been hanging on my wall. This is my desk. This is where I work. I look over at it from time to time and say, I should move stuff down. I should move stuff around. And I have not. I changed up how I was doing the tasks as far as like my writing stuff goes, because before I was writing specific tasks that I needed to accomplish. And instead I wanted to use it to track my time. And by time, I mean task blocks of 25 minutes. 30-minute blocks, basically 25 minutes of work, 5 minutes of break. However, I quickly discovered, because I was joining other people's live streams at the time, not everyone does 25-minute sprints. So that made it a little harder to track different task blocks, and I essentially lost the motivation to move them down right from the beginning. So it established very quickly that from the moment I set it up that it wasn't going to work. And honestly, the Kanban board system, as much as I love it, it has not been working for a while. I've been using the HB90 method since either 2021, 2022, I can't remember which. And while the system itself works as far as like planning out my tasks and my goals and stuff, the Kanban portion of it just has not been working. I've tried it on my wall right next to my desk. I've tried it in my planner itself. I have tried various things, and the Kanban board system just does not work for me. and it's time for me to accept that. However, the Kanban board is not the only thing that has not been working as far as like planning my Q3. The other thing that has not been working is the fact that I have been planning in multiple places. Originally, when I was using my Kanban board last quarter, I had all of my stuff planned here as far as like family and friends, career, academia, and writing related stuff. And while the Kanban board didn't work, the other thing that wasn't working between this quarter and last quarter is the fact that I had stuff listed in multiple places. I don't tend to like writing the stuff down multiple times. It does help me remember it, but not in a good way. I remember it more in the fact that I won't forget about something, but I won't necessarily forget what day that something is supposed to be. And when I go to look for it, it won't necessarily be written where my brain tells me it should be. And what I mean by that is that for writing related stuff, I have my Kanban board this quarter. I also have a digital planner in which I've been using to track stuff, like what I actually accomplished. And then I had my personal planner, which I was using to supposedly track everything that I was doing in my personal life. Now, this is the Sterling Ink Commonplace Planner. This is the B6 6-month one. So this is July through December. There's a pen sticking in it on July 1st because I haven't touched it since I set it up. And everything that's listed in here was all the stuff I knew about when I set it up. And I haven't added anything to it as far as like events or anything. Everything I've been doing, I've been putting into my digital planner just because I looked at that daily and I would see everything daily. So writing in here and then writing it in the digital planner was kind of pointless. And I'm pointing on the screen like you can see my digital planner, but it has my notes for this video, so apologies, you can't see it. The other thing that wasn't working is the fact that I created a spinning wheel of chaotic doom. The idea itself was fantastic. I very much have project paralysis, in which case I have so many things I need to do, but I can never, when I have the time to do them, I can never decide what I should work on. So creating the spinning wheel was supposed to help with that. And it did, to an extent. The problem was that I had so many tasks on it. I had 40 something tasks on this one wheel. Most of them were writing related projects so that I would never have to like prioritize writing various writing projects. I could let it decide what I would be working on as far as writing project goes. But I also had various house related projects on it or Notion related projects on it. Stuff that I was like, okay, what am I going to work on today? Should I work on Notion? Should I clean the house? What am I doing? And I had them all listed on this spinning wheel. The problem came in the fact that I would spin the wheel at work, hoping to work on a project that I could work on at work, only to have it land on a house-related project. And this happened enough times that it was frustrating me to the point where I just stopped using the wheel. Not very helpful in that case. The ideal, perfect. Execution, not so much. Let's get into what is actually working, because those are the things that weren't working for me. What is actually working? The first thing that's working is that I have scheduled specific tasks for specific days. The other thing is the digital planning. By writing both family and friends, academia and career, and Brimstone Books stuff in my digital planner and having that all set up, that has been working fantastic. Having everything in one place so I can see it all in a blink of an eye and a glance, fantastic. I have loved that. I specifically really enjoy the digital planning to an extent. The other thing that's working is the spinning wheel of chaotic doom. Yes, I mentioned that in the it's not working, but it's also in the working section because it does work. Like, it helps me pick a project without me like going, what do? I don't know what to do. And then not doing anything. So in that case, it is working. I just have to tweak all of these things that are working to work better for me, which brings us into what my plans are moving forward. The first thing I would like to do is I would like to establish both morning and evening routine. This is something that's going to be a little tricky for me, and the reason for that is because of the fact that I work nights during the week. I have a Monday through Friday evening job where I work 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., which makes it a little hard to establish a evening and morning routine only because of the fact that on the weekends, when I am off, Saturday and Sunday, I'm a daytime person and I sleep at night. It's been a little hard to establish an evening and morning routine because of this. I still am tweaking this, and I'm tweaking my brain more than the actual routines themselves. But some of the things that I would like in my morning routine is the fact that I would like to have like my to-do list that have things that I need to get done, my task list. And I would like to check it on a daily basis at the beginning of my day and be like, okay, these are the things that I need to accomplish today. These are the things that need to get done. The other thing I would like to do, I've mentioned in a couple of vlogs that I have been having trouble remembering what I've actually updated everyone on because of the fact that my days run together. My Monday runs into my Tuesday runs into my Wednesday and stuff like that. And it has been making it harder to remember what I've talked about previously. So I think establishing a specific time to do like an update versus like random film clips will help with that. And then the other thing I would like to do with like my morning routine is get my reading done and knock it out right away. When I first started night shift, I was listening to audiobooks, and I was listening to like an audiobook a night because of the fact that I read them on a little slightly faster speed, anywhere from 1.25 to 1.5 speed. So I was listening to them on a faster speed, but on top of that, I was just knocking them out because I was by myself and I wasn't talking to anyone else, so I could listen to them the entire time I was working. And it helped me get a lot of books read. But now I've switched that up, and instead of listening to audiobooks, lately I've got my playlist of YouTube videos and I've been listening to that instead. Because of that, I haven't been reading as often. It's been more sporadic. None of that would have helped me with reading the physical books that I've purchased. So I would like to get back to the habit of sitting down in my reading chair that my dog is currently occupying and sleeping in, and reading for at least 30 minutes a day, whether that's an ebook, an audiobook, or a physical book. And I pointed this direction because my wall of books is that way. I am technically in the library, and that is where the wall of books is. As far as my evening routine goes, one of the things that does help me both in my mental state and with my clarity on figuring out what I want to do for the next day is that I tend to do a little bit of journaling. This does have journaling pages, it does have planner pages, it has daily pages. And the way I was establishing this in the past is that the top of the daily pages would be my task list of various things that were going on throughout the day, whether the kids had extracurriculars they were doing, mine and my husband's work schedules, any events that we had going on that we needed to partake in. And then the bottom half would be my daily journaling. However, because I haven't been touching this, I haven't been daily journaling, and I can tell there are things like I know this happened, but I don't remember when it happened. And those were things I used to detail with my daily journaling. I want to get back in the habit of daily journaling. I think I would like to incorporate the idea of morning pages into my daily journaling. And instead of it being 3 pages long, it'll be just a full page. And task-related stuff will be on sticky notes. So moving forward, I will have my task lists on a sticky note or some other kind of paper. I've got pages like this from a little notebook that I no longer use that fell apart, as well as, little fun pages. And I think taking these and adding them in with my list of tasks to this journal will help me have more pages for my journaling experience and still keep track of things that I need to do during the day. And then I won't keep track of things that are like obvious, like my work schedule, which doesn't change because I am a Monday through Friday person. So instead of tracking, I might track like if I take a day off, but otherwise it'll just not be listed because it's kind of pointless to write it down multiple times, at least to me. The other thing that I was in the habit of doing, but got out of the habit of doing, is doing a daily tarot card pull. I do enjoy doing tarot card pulls. However, I'm not good at reading the cards, which is why I don't do more than one card. I can read each card individually, but as far as like establishing how they work together, not so good at that. I was in the habit of doing like a daily tarot card draw, and I got out of that habit. I would like to establish that back into my routine, as well as drawing either an oracle card or a therapet's card. The therapet's card are more motivational, whereas the oracle card is more, I guess in a way they're motivational as well, just in a different manner. So that's why I don't want to draw both, because that's part of where I had the problem and I just stopped drawing cards, is because drawing all 3 of those at one time just got to be too much, especially since, again, I tended to journal about what the cards meant. I'm just trying to figure out ways that'll make it quicker, basically, so that I'm not spending too much time on all of these routines. Like, I don't want them to take more than 20 minutes or 30 minutes max, other than the reading, obviously. Establishing those kind of routines will help, I think, with my mindset. It's just a matter of figuring out how to make them work into my already busy schedule. One of the things I mentioned was the fact that I was going to be scheduling specific tasks to specific days, and I just had to tweak how those days worked and what tasks I did on those days. And what I'm going to try for this quarter is I'm going to try 2 things on Mondays. Mondays will be for YouTube, whether I am filming, editing, I'm uploading videos, and replying to comments. But Mondays are also going to be for meetings. I meet with Amy one-on-one, on Monday mornings for an hour or two. And sometimes we're working on specific tasks together for my newsletter or my social media. And sometimes we're each doing our own separate tasks and chit-chatting in the meantime. We basically call them our work date. And we've been doing them kind of consistently for a couple months now. And they've been really helping us both, each of us, get various tasks done. Tuesday through Friday will be for social media posts because I don't have a lot of time before I go to bed or even before I go to work in order to get things done. So while I will continue doing monthly planning of what I want to put on social media, I will, instead of pre-scheduling any social media, I will use Tuesday through Friday to post any posts I want to make on the specific day or schedule them for the week on that specific day. I had a bit of a snafu with social media where I tried to schedule a bunch of posts for like a month out. And I did it, unfortunately, on a day where my internet kept going in and out. And so the site said that all my stuff was scheduled. However, when I went back to post new content for the next month, 3 weeks later, none of that content had actually posted. None of it had gone live. And it just irritated me to the point where I was just like, nope, I'm done. And I had to step away from social media for a bit. So I actually have not posted anything on social media since July. But I'm also trying to figure out what to post that'll kind of get engagement, what things I want to establish on social media. Because while I like sharing some of the things that I've been sharing, it feels very tedious and it feels very like it's always the same things over and over again. And I'm just trying to figure out how to add some new zest to it. If you got some ideas, let me know in the comments. I'm open to suggestions. It's just a matter of me figuring out what I want to do. I am slowly sinking. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I'm slowly sinking. My chair no longer stays up where it freaking belongs. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. Saturdays and Sundays, however, are for the most part about family time. Saturdays is for me personally to wind down and I do some gaming. I have been streaming over on Twitch lately. I say that like I've been doing it for very long. I think I've done it once, maybe twice. I did have to cancel this past Saturdays because I was not feeling the greatest. So did not do it then. So I've only just started streaming to Twitch and it is literally just for gaming, for me to wind down and have some fun. If people come into the comments, I've been chatting with them. But for the most part, it's just been me, myself, and I winding down and playing some games and having some fun. The other thing is that we try to do girls' night on Saturdays, where I have fun with my kids and we do something together no matter what it is. And then I have my stream late at night. Now during that stream, I have not been doing any writing. Lately, I have been doing Notion related projects or I have been doing video editing and I will probably continue doing that moving forward. I've been enjoying partaking with more of the chat lately and it's hard to do that if I am writing during the sprints versus if I'm doing something else because I can take a lot more breaks while doing something else than I can with writing because once I get focused into the project, I am just focused into the project. Sunday mornings are for Breaking the Block. That's a author chat where a bunch of us get together and we talk about various things that are making it hard to work on our projects. We've had some various discussions about other things not necessarily related to that, but kind of tie into it in the end too. And that's been a lot of fun and I want to continue doing that. The other thing is that Sundays are for family time and we spend together doing stuff as a family, or that's actually usually our grocery shopping day when we go grocery shopping. It's also the day I do my weekly planning. And one of the ideas I've been toying with is doing like a planning live stream, maybe after Breaking the Block is done, where we just chat in the comments about things we plan on doing for the week. And I can, plan for my week ahead. I haven't decided yet if I'm actually going to be doing that, but I think it would be a lot of fun. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. And this would be like an every other week, not every week thing. Basically, if I'm doing grocery shopping that day, obviously I couldn't do it because of the fact that my family tends to wake up earlier on grocery shopping days, whereas they sleep in every other time. So that's why that would be an every other week, not an every week thing. The final thing that I think will help me with my goals moving forward, and this is actually where we get into partially what those goals will be, is the spinning wheel of chaotic doom. I mentioned that I simplified it and I broke it down to, I wanted to break it down to a lot less tasks. The original one had a bunch of tasks that were both related to writing and home projects, and I have changed that. So the simplified spinning wheel of chaotic doom only has 7 things on it, and all of them are writing related. The first item on that spinning wheel is the 7-day book challenge. I have a link to that video in the description. However, basically The idea with the 7-day book challenge is that you have 7 days to write a project from beginning to end and complete it during 7 days. I've attempted this writing challenge multiple times. I tend to do it the first 3 quarters of the year. There will be no 7-day book challenge in this final quarter. There are times I don't complete the projects I'm working on for the 7-day book challenge. So when the little needle lands on this task, what will happen is that I will work on any projects I have not completed from previous 7-day book challenges. And trust me, there's quite a few. So I will never not have a project to work on, but it will kind of help me focus on which of those projects. I think I've attempted the 7-day book challenge and failed it 3 or 4 times. So I definitely have plenty of projects I can go back and work on that are related to the 7-day book challenge. The next task on this list is the Damned and Dangerous Quartet. This is a 4-book series, urban fantasy series, and 2 books are out currently. Books 3 and 4 are in the middle of various rewrites. I have drafted them multiple times. I'm still working on rewrites. On the back of this Kanban board is actually the outlines for both book 3 and 4 for the current drafts. The rewrites drafts, I do have to do a new outline for, so I will be flipping that over at some point and working on that. It contains a lot of spoilers, so I'm not turning it over right now. The third task on this wheel is a fun project. There are a few projects that I have that I don't have any intention of publishing anytime soon, if ever. And when I say I want to work on a fun project, that is what I will work on. It doesn't matter which of those 3 or 4 I work on. As long as I've got ideas for one of them, that'll be what I choose. The 4th task is writing by hand. I keep a couple notebooks with me at all times. And anytime that lands on this one, I will take out one of those notebooks and work on a short story. I have a couple of short stories that are in progress right now in various notebooks. Only because I don't want to start on the next short story until I finish the previous one. So I think I have 2 notebooks currently with short stories in progress that I wanted to finish before I start the next story. The next task is a standalone novel called Just One Bite. This is a Fated Mates vampire paranormal romance, and I'm hoping to get this one done and published by next year, 2025. So that's why it's on this list, and it's one of the closest ones to being publishable after some of these other larger projects because of the fact that it's a standalone. The 6th project is my newsletter story. If you sign up for my newsletter, obviously you get my reader magnet. Established newsletter subscribers also have access to read a project that was originally one of my 7-day book challenge stories. It was originally supposed to be a novella. It was supposed to be a new reader magnet. However, it decided it wanted to be a novel. So I've been working on that, and I've been sending it chapter by chapter to my newsletter subscribers. I have not sent them a chapter in a couple months now for a couple reasons. 1, because I haven't been sending out a newsletter. 2, because I haven't had chapters to send them because they have caught up to where I have written. So I am still in the process of finishing this book up. I'm on chapter 9 of 22 or something like that. Still working on it. Haven't sent any new chapters lately. I kind of need to get some done. The 7th and final project on my spinning wheel, my current spinning wheel that is working, is the Shifters and Mages series. Again, this is a 4-book series. Each of them are in different processes. The first book in the series actually comes out this year, so it is my top priority. If nothing else gets done this quarter, this will get done because it is so close. I'm currently finishing up a pre-order for it. The cover has been made. I am working with a cover designer to make the paperback cover, and once the pre-order has been established and finished for the ebook, I can finalize everything for the paperback and get that information to my cover designer so we can get that done. December 3rd, I will have a new book coming out, and it'll be the first in the Shifters and Mages series. It's going to be on its 10-year anniversary from when it was originally published, and I'm super excited about it. Also with it being on my spinning wheel, there are 3 other books in the series. The second one is currently with a professional editor. I am waiting to hear back about final edits on that. And then book 3, I'm working on a rewrite of. Book 4, I originally had a draft written, however, my computer in one of the many changes, moves, whatever, ate that draft, and I have bits and pieces of a draft instead. I have to rewrite the entire thing. Editing Skye here because I realized, as I was editing, that I never actually stated what my goals are for Q4. They aren't many. I talked about all the things I'm going to be doing to, progress in goals, but honestly, those are my goals. I want to establish a morning routine. I want to establish an evening routine. I want to get more consistent with my writing, writing daily. Now, my week begins basically, since I'm not usually working on writing related stuff on Mondays, except when I'm at work during my lunch break, and that's usually after it's already Tuesday. Technically speaking, my week is Tuesday through Saturday, as far as writing stuff goes, not Monday through Friday, because I write on my breaks at work. but I'm still going to pretend it's Monday through Friday. So I want to get more on a consistent basis, not only of working on writing related projects based on whatever the wheel tells me to work on throughout the week. I also want to make sure I'm getting better about tracking what I work on and tracking everything in general, because I've gotten out of the habit of that because of the fact that I was been dividing my attention between various different planners and stuff. Those are the main goals. And then of course my ultimate main goal, that one has to be accomplished, is getting Puck's Choice ready for publication because it's coming out December 3rd. So routines, both morning and evening, consistent schedule, tracking everything. Puck's Choice is number one. That one absolutely has to happen. Those are the goals. So since I didn't really actually explain that portion when I was explaining how I was going to be doing moving forward, I figure I'd jump on here and actually, put into words what I didn't quite articulate, I think, to the fullest extent. I think it was hinted at, but now you know officially. Those are the goals. Only 5-ish goals. And beyond that, I really don't care what I accomplish. Everything else will be gravy on top. We're good to go. All right. Back to the video. Now, I mentioned the Kanban board at the beginning of this video and how it's not working for me, and it hasn't been. As you can see, it hasn't changed. What am I going to do with it? My Kanban board is going bye-bye. I am going to take down my Kanban board. What am I going to replace it with? I have a couple of options. I think for this quarter, I'm just going to leave it blank, and it's just going to be there as like a backdrop. I might put some pictures on it and use it for like a vision board or motivation. I might print out my covers so that I have some motivation. I look at them and I'll be like, yes, that's what I'm going to work on. And I will make some final changes to it come 2025. What those changes are going to be, I don't exactly know yet, but I'm not worried about it yet. So let's say goodbye to the Kanban board. And I'm going to take down all of those little tasks. There. End of an era. I'm no longer going to be using a Kanban board because it no longer works for me. That is all the things I plan on doing this quarter. I am going to be establishing routines. I'm going to be doing specific tasks on specific dates. And I'm going to be using the Simplified spinning wheel of chaotic doom in order to choose my writing projects on a weekly basis. I will spin it at the beginning of the week and let it choose my project that I'm going to work on for a full week at a time. If you made it this far in the video, please put a goal or a soccer ball or something to that effect to establish that you've made it to the end. And let me know, what are some things you did recently that just didn't work, even if you've been trying them for a while? And how are you handling that moving forward? Like, what are you going to be doing differently that you hope will work? Whether it's something you've tried in the past or it's brand new to you and you're going to be doing it in the future. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys in this video. I will see you all in my next video. Bye, Dragonlings.